What's up, guys? AverageKiwiGuy here. How y'all doing? So it's been over a month now since the new expansion of WoW, of World of Warcraft came out, Battle for Azeroth. And I think there's definitely mixed emotions going around. That there are a lot of people that love it, a lot of people that hate it, a lot of people in between. I'm one of the people that likes it. I think it's been a lot of fun. I have problems with it, but mainly the fact that it was the build up to it was very much like, oh, this is gonna be like a fight between Horde and Alliance, and honestly, it hasn't felt that way at all. At least for a very small amount. So yesterday, when Ian Hazakastas went on live stream and so developer stream and started laying out some stuff for 8.1, it was quite nice to hear that they are definitely going down that rival, storyline, and getting into a lot more of the characters that we want to hear about. Because I know, for me personally, mainly on the Horde side, I don't know if this is a thing on the Alliance side, mainly because it's following Jaina, but on the Horde side, you don't feel like you've really interacted with any of the main Horde characters at all, really, this entire expansion, at least up till now. Because I mean, I know they really wanted to give the Zandalari their time and to get their characters to come out and all the rest of it, but it feels like everyone is just chilling out back home, not doing anything. So it's going to be cool to get that additional story stuff coming through, which is awesome. So sort of just breaking down what they kind of told us, like the 8.1 stuff and when it's sort of what's going on with it. First up, it's called Tide of Vengeance. Apparently that was like a data mine thing when like the original announcement for the expansion came out. Like, people found out that it may have been going to be called Tides of Vengeance, and it was going to be it was going to be like a more naval type thing and all the rest of it, and people started, going crazy about it, but Blizzard kind of shot it down. So I wonder that maybe they found this, or Blizzard just kind of poking fun a little bit. So Tides of Vengeance got story-driven stuff, which is like I was talking about. The war campaign is going to continue. There is hopefully that the whole war campaign thing goes into a little bit more than just. I was very underwhelmed with the war campaign. I've done the Horde one. I haven't done the Alliance one, but I was very underwhelmed with the Horde campaign. It was just like these little quests, and it felt like the damn rep grind was not worth the time or the effort that I was doing it in. Like, there were some nice bits here and there, but for storyline that was kind of hype, like that was like the big thing at the end of the leveling story for the Horde and stuff, like for the expansion, and for me it kind of fell flat. Like, I didn't really enjoy it all that much, and it was like, oh cool, yay, I finished it in a way, and I guess I unlocked a mythic dungeon. Cool. Like, it didn't really work for me. Didn't really work for me. I was like, this is kind of lame. But apparently we're going to be getting quests and storylines focused on Saurfang, Tyrande, and Vol'jin. So for those who don't know, there is actually a quest for Vol'jin, which has some very interesting things. So I don't want to spoil it, because I'm sure some of you are still playing it, and all the rest of it. And there's plenty of stuff out there for those of you who have and want the thing. But for me, it's very cool to see old Vol'jin getting back involved in a way. I won't say how, but it's very cool to see. And it throws up some questions too. Throws up some questions, that quest, which is pretty cool. So it's cool to see that coming in. Gonna be interesting to see how that goes with Sylvanas and all that. Because honestly, like, as a Horde player, Sylvanas has been very silent. Like, she has not done anything, what feels like, in this entire expansion. For all the hype and everything that Sylvanas got, I've seen her twice. And that's like right at the start of the expansion, that's it. Like, it just feels like she's not doing anything. So it's going to see if she gets more involved, and if Vol'jin's involved, how that all works out. So that'd be kind of cool. But definitely keen to see Saurfang. Saurfang is like my dude. I want to see what's going on with him. He ain't with the Horde anymore. Well, he's not with... He's not following Sylvanas. He doesn't ever want to follow Sylvanas. So, let me just see what goes on with him. Hopefully that's not going to be like an alliance story. That'll be like, come on, man. Hopefully that's like a neutral story, maybe. If they want to go down that road. And then Tyrande as well. I'm not too keen on Tyrande. She... Alright, I guess. Just not my thing. Not my character. There is going to be these things called incursions. Apparently they're going to be very much similar to Legion invasions. Zones will just get like, you know, like Legion invasions were, where the zones change. Like Legion, there was assaulting it. There were different different world quests in a way that you had to do through the zone, and then you did like a big quest at the end. I think that's what they're going to go down with these things. Apparently, like they're bringing in more so like alts and stuff can get leveled up easier, because that was kind of the good thing with Legion invasions, because you could actually, you know, grind some good XP off of it. So that's all right. I don't mind them. I didn't mind Legion invasions, but once you've done like them a couple of times, I was like, okay, cool. And it got annoying if the Legion invasion happened right when you're doing a world quest, which was something valuable. So yeah, like hopefully they'll tweak that a little bit and make sure it's okay. But yeah, so that same type of system's coming back. And then allied races, the two sort of main ones I think a lot of people have been waiting for, especially me with the Zandalari. So Zandalari trolls and Kalterian humans, they're going to be coming out as well. You have to become exalted with the Zandalari Empire or Proudmoore Admiralty to unlock them, and beyond that, the full quest chain expected to go live after the next raid. So we won't... So whenever the next... So I don't know if the questline includes the raid, which would be a little bit like... Because not everyone wants to raid. Not everyone wants to raid. And I like, hopefully they don't hide out like allied races behind a raid. I mean, I'm sure people can do it once and it's fine, but I like to get, you know, it's good to give people the options, because they grinded that rep and everything. So yeah, so I'd say it will just be like a little quest line, boom, you do it, similar to what Nightborn and High Mountain and Lightforge and all that was, and Void Elves. So that'd be kind of that'd be cool to see. I'm excited for Zandalari trolls. Thinking about making a Zandalari shaman, especially with the changes to shaman coming, and we'll get into that as well. But yeah, that looks that's kind of cool to see. We knew it was coming. We knew that was coming. That's just what we were expecting. Speaking of raids, they announced two. First one up is the Siege of Zuldazar. So this is where they're going in like, hey, Alliance, Horde, you know, this is the new Horde capital. Well, you know, one of the capitals of the Horde. You know, what's the Alliance going to do about it? What the Kalterians going to do about it? And I imagine we're going to get a similar thing with Kalteris later on down the road. So the way it works is each faction's going to have, in a way, a different encounter. In a way, I think each faction gets three unique bosses. So apparently the Alliance, they will land in the docks and they'll fight their way up the central pyramid of Zuldazar to fight King Rastakhan. And then the Horde, they will start at the northern side of the city and they defend the city from the siege from the Alliance. And apparently so we work our way up to Rastakhan, then we go back, we drive the Alliance out to the docks, and that is apparently where we meet Jaina. So Jaina may be a raid boss here. I doubt we're going to kill her. I'd imagine this is a raid boss where like she'll like either get forced onto a ship or something like that, but I don't think we're killing Jaina here. King Rastakhan, I don't know what's going to happen there, because there have been a lot of things that are kind of like sort of pushing towards Princess Talanji getting made into the leader of the Zandalari trolls. So Rastakhan, he may be one that gets killed, I think. Especially because he's, you know, been empowered by Boswandi and stuff. That's going to make an interesting boss battle. But apparently there are 9 new boss encounters. I think, and each faction gets 3 unique bosses. So six will be just the plain Jane normal ones that we all have to face, but then 3 of them will be unique to our faction. And apparently, like, if to find out what happened on the other faction, there's an NPC, like talking to NPCs and stuff like that. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So that's kind of cool. I like how they're definitely, you know, drawing that line, Alliance, Horde. Not everyone's getting the same interactions, because I mean, like, at the moment with Uldir, we're all doing the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. We're just fighting, like, one's with the Alliance, one's with the Horde. Like, it's basically the same. So it's cool to see that, you know, each people are going to get different experiences, and it also makes people want to, you know, grind up say a Horde player, grind up an Alliance player to see the other side, you know, that sort of thing. That's definitely what they're pushing in this expansion, is they want you to have multiple characters on each side to experience the story. So yeah. The raid does look interesting though. I do like the look of it, and Zuldazar is very cool looking, like dinosaurs and very Aztec and stuff. It's a great city, great city. So to see it as a raid will be very interesting and very cool to see. And I'm excited for the gear to come out of that too, because it's going to be like I imagine it'll be Zandalari based, like very much that way. So there's going to be some cool stuff coming out of that, I'd imagine. So very cool on that one. And then they announced a second raid. Similar to, what was it, the Trials of Valor, the basically the second raid of Legion, where, you know, you faced Odin and Heli and all that, where it was only like a 3-boss battle, but it was, you know, tough as shit. Like, they made these 3 bosses quite tough. This one is only gonna be 2 bosses, 2 bosses. So you can imagine what these bosses are going to entail, because they want raids to last a certain amount of time, right? So these bosses aren't going to be pushovers. This is not something that is just going to be piece of cake, walk away through. And I mean, looking at what, you know, is going on right now with Uldir, like we only just had our first guild beat Mythic today, and it's been out for how many weeks now? So, like, there's only one guild that's done it so far. I don't know if, you know, since then people have done it, but one guild, and that was the best guild to do it. So, like, that type of thing, I can imagine this raid is gonna be one hell of a raid. Like, just these 2 bosses are gonna be the bosses of bosses. So the Crucible of Storms lies underneath Stormsong Valley, continuing the region's story of old god corruption. So we're gonna have that sort of thing. Crucible is coming after Zuldazar and will have only 2 bosses. Blizzard also promised further world story content prior to the raid, so get you in there, you know, set the scene and stuff, letting Horde and Alliance players know that they're accomplishing it in the game's plot. So yeah, that is interesting. These 2, I can't imagine what these 2 bosses are going to be like. Definitely one will be an old god, that's for damn sure. But what's the second one going to be? That's going to be an interesting part. So that's interesting. I think that's kind of a cool thing. But that's coming after Zuldazar, so that might be maybe near the end of the year, I'd imagine. Also, apparently, we're getting a new Warfront. So the Warfront, I don't know if it's, I imagine it's moving. The battle for Dark Shore. So I was like, man, are we going back to Dark Shore again? Like, I know we did all this stuff pre-patch and all the rest of it, but, like, is there nowhere else we can go? Like, Arathi's been kind of cool. The Warfronts themselves are very, like, turn your mind off, where you go, just grind it out, gather resources, pop, build up your bases, go and beat the boss. Like, it for me, like, it's a very easy way of getting 340 gear. It really was. Especially when, like, at the start, like, there was no, like, level requirement or anything like that. They did put a level requirement in, and now it's like 320 or something. But the Warfronts were, like, average. They weren't anything special. Not personally, anyway. I can see the idea. I can see what they're trying to do, but it needs some help. But apparently they are beefing it up. They're going to be doing some stuff with it, trying to make it a little more interesting. And also they are going to overlap the Warfront so that there's not such a long cycle between each faction having it. Because like at the moment it is basically a week on, week off sort of thing. So I'm thinking they say they're gonna overlap it between, so there's not such a high turnover. Because you know when you don't have the Warfront, you got the second world boss and the elites around it. When you have the Warfront, you don't have the world boss. They're trying to give you stuff so it's good to have it or not, and they have the quests and stuff. But they're trying to work some stuff out there to help people there, so there's not such a long cycle between each one. So yeah, the Warfront will be the battle for Darkshore just outside the smoldering husk of Teldrassil. The Warfront will be focused on the Night Elves versus the Forsaken, and the Alliance will get first crack at it. So that's their thing there. I'm guessing they're thinking like, well, you know, they did get their capital burnt down. I mean, we did get one burnt down too, but you know, yeah. So Alliance is going to get their first shot at the Warfront. And imagine there'll be elites and a world boss for the Horde. So that, and then obviously quests as well. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the Warfront. Hopefully they just make it a little more interesting, a little more like, I don't know, like stuff changes from like different scenario may happen, like you know different bosses show up, different things you got to do. You know, honestly, it was just a rinse and repeat thing. So we'll see what comes from it. The island expeditions, we're getting new islands, 2 new islands, 1 Horde, 1 Alliance. I'm not that into island expeditions, never really struck me in any way. I've done 1 or 2. I think I did enough to get the research and that was it. It was like, it's just not that interesting to me. I know it's a good way to get Azerite and stuff like that, but honestly, I've been ticking away quite nicely anyway, and if I felt like I was lacking in them, I'd do them. But it hasn't interested me in any way. But they are trying to improve it. They're going to make it so that it's, again, not so rinse and repeat. You know, different spawns, different things. Also, the spawns will be changed to cluster enemies closer together rather than spreading them across the entire map. So that way you're not traveling so far. And yeah, they're just trying to liven it up. Just trying to liven it up. You know, listen to the feedback a little bit and go from there. But honestly, like, I've not really that been interested in island expeditions. And then they're going to do some quality of life improvements, which is very interesting. So there is going to be heritage armor added for Blood Elves and Dwarves. And obviously I think this is going to continue on through the expansion. So each race will get heritage armor. No, you do not have to, like the current ones now, where you have to level 1 to 120. Well, I think it's 1 to 110, 1 to 120. I don't know what the new one, like the Magnar ones are. But I know with Nightborn and all that, you had to go from 1 to 110. Like there was no, like you can't boost to get it or anything like that. So yeah, I don't want to level all these characters again. I don't want to level my Zandalari shaman all the way from 1 to 120 to get the heritage armor. I don't want that. But at least for the Blood Elves and the Dwarves, they will, if you're a max level character and exalted with your own city, the quest line for the armor will open automatically. So if you are, you know, a Blood Elf or you are a Dwarf, definitely look at your home city stuff. Maybe you got to start looking at that rep and grinding that up just so you're ready to go when it comes out. But from the few looks that I've seen of it, like I think they showed the Dwarven armor. The Dwarven armor looks cool. So I'm excited for like all the other ones too, like getting into the orc stuff and all the rest of it. Like at least that's like a, you know, there's something special, you know, sort of based around your race that you have, which is kind of cool. So that heritage armor I think is a cool little thing to be throwing in there. And at least you do not have to level your character the entire way. It's only a bit of it's a rep grind, but I imagine a lot of you guys have that rep anyway. So yeah. They're also looking at Putting Champions of Azeroth reputation account wide, which is like just fantastic. Like and apparently there might be some other factions too. It's just like it's just a nice thing to do, right? Like that's the worst part of having ults is grinding that rep again. Like that is the worst part. Like I've pretty much got all mine to Exalted now. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do it again. I really don't. So hopefully they're going to be like they'll do that more and more. Like clearly people do not want to do it. So let's just make it a little bit easier. Seriously, like rep grind is not the fun part of WoW. Rep grind is not the fun part of WoW. So at least getting into that. And when you do get Exalted with an actual faction, the achievement I think is going to go account wide as well, meaning that you can I think it'll allow you access to different like rep items and stuff like that too. So that's a good thing. Blizzard will also removing a number of older reputation locks standing in the way of faction transmogs and armor. So that's a nice thing, because people just want transmogs, man. And they do not want to grind rep to get those transmogs. So that's just some nice things. That's just some nice things. So hopefully they'll do that more and more. Hopefully they'll do that more and more. So they said this is coming out soon on the PTR. I don't know when exactly that will be. And then I imagine it won't be too far after that the actual patch will launch. Normally Blizzard's reasonably quick, except for expansion launches with the PTR and then putting it onto live. Just normally clean up any problems it's got. But I mean, yeah, like I think the big things will be, you know, obviously the raids and everything like that, but then also the class changes too. I know Shaman, they're definitely going to be getting a rework. I think there's already stuff out for Elemental Shaman. I know they've been having some problems this expansion. I know Shamans in general have been having problems. I know a few guys who play Enhancement and they've been like, they're like, yeah, it's there, but then it's not. Like the damage is very up and down. And I mean, it could be a good time for me to level up a Zandalari Shaman. I think that would be kind of fun. I haven't played Shaman before, so that would be cool. And then obviously it is the usual system improvement stuff. So this is the big patch for Shaman. I think there's also some Shadow Priest stuff. I think a lot of classes are going to get changed in this one. They're definitely looking at the Azerite traits. Apparently they're going to be putting in more complex ones. You know, these ones are very basic, what they've got at the start now. So they're going to be looking at something a little, you know, a little more fun, or maybe a little more complex down the line. Add some new ones in and stuff like that. So that's always good to see. For me, the Azerite stuff has been okay. Like, I feel like it's just like they had this sort of thing with the artifact weapons. So now they want to do it with the Azerite armor. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's nothing mind-blowing. It's nothing special. Some of the procs and stuff are kind of cool. Like, you know, lightning and storms and stuff. And, like, you know, things spawning and things. Like, they can have a lot of fun with it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. I have no real issues with it. Fine. Apparently new profession recipe. So that's good. That way, like, okay, you've capped out. Doesn't mean like you're done with your profession, or obviously, you know, you grinding gold in the auction house, but you know, it gives you something different to do, so that's cool. And it also gives, you know, a little bit of like stimulus to the auction house, something new, people want it, gets gold, it's a good thing. And there's apparently going to be a Nomagun pet battle dungeon, so if you're into that stuff, that'll be there too. And apparently there's more coming, so but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty damn good. It looks pretty cool. Pretty stocks, like the stock standard, like after release major patch. I don't know if we're going to be getting any new areas. I don't know. Like, I know there was some like whispers or something like earlier on about getting a couple of extra like these new areas. Like one was like a Zandalari Island. Another one was an area like where, like, you know, Colterans, like, basically exiled themselves. I'm not sure. But, no, I'm excited to, like, more for the story stuff. I'm a big story buff. Like, I love the story stuff. So, The new raid's great too. Like I love me some raiding, but like the new raid's great. But to see the new stories and stuff will be awesome. No word on dungeons though. No word on any new dungeons or anything like that. I imagine it might be some new ones popping up, or maybe that'll be the next thing. I'm trying to remember, like, Legion-wise, like, it wasn't until the Broken Shore until we got a new dungeon there. Yeah. Because, yeah, you got the one that sort of leads into the Tomb of Sargeras. And then obviously we got the Argus stuff. So, no, it's going to be interesting to see. Excited for the new allied races. Excited for the heritage armor. I think that's going to be cool. And like what it will eventually grow into. I think everyone will get one. So that'd be awesome. Like anything that like new armor that looks cool, I'm all about. Like that's one of the major parts of WoW is how cool can you make a character look. So that's always something I love. So that's cool. And yeah. So hopefully not too far away. I don't know, maybe around BlizzCon? Maybe there might be like a big thing they try and do. I think this BlizzCon is going to be very Diablo centric. I have a feeling we're going to get the new Diablo this thing. Just by the looks of like their goodie bags and the way they're talking and the way things are like working around. I think this might be a Diablo year. So they might, like for WoW, they might say, well, 8.1 is live now. Like, I think that might be their thing. It all depends on when the PTR comes out. Yeah. Alright, guys, that's for us. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. If you're new here, have a look around the channel, see what's going on. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. We're growing. We're getting there. We're trucking along, which is awesome to see. Thank you very much, guys. Been super cool to see the growth in the channel. Can't thank you enough. Same with the Twitch channel, guys. You guys have been following me on there. And I'm also working on Spider-Man review too. Just finishing that up. And I'll put that up. I know it's a bit late, but hey, I like what I love the game, so I want to talk about it. And yeah, exciting stuff coming for WoW, and yeah, we'll see what comes out. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace. Bye.